Mom brought in breakfast and found me staring at my phone, deep in thought. "What's wrong, Aurea?" she asked, concern in her eyes. "Is something bothering you?" I shook my head, unwilling to burden her with my worries. The messages from Selena sat unanswered. My wolf, Lyra, growling faintly in my mind as I read them again. Her apology felt hollow, like a weak attempt to tug at my sympathy. I couldn't trust her, not after what she'd done. Instead of replying, I made up my mind to cut off all lingering ties to my old life. After the bonding ceremony today, I would change my phone number. Most of my pet connections were superficial anyway, so I doubted anyone but my parents would notice. As I took a bite of breakfast, the doorbell rang. Mom sighed, pushing back her chair. Who could it be this early? Taylor said he wasn't leaving the pack house yet. Minutes later, she returned with a small package in hand and a frown on her face. Who ordered this? It's not from the pet kitchen. She glanced at the receipt attached to the side, her expression tightening. Baby Aurea, is this yours? My stomach flipped at the nickname. No, I didn't order anything. Mom set the package down on the table, her brows furrowed. It's your favorite. Milkroot tea, light herbs, no sweetener. Strange, though, the delivery is marked as anonymous. My heart raced, my wolf's ears pricking up in alarm. Only one person knew I liked milkroot tea prepared that way, Nicho. The thought of him finding me here, deep within my family's packlands, sent a shiver through me. How had he managed to locate me? I shook my head and tried to calm the anxiety creeping up my spine. Taking a sip, I confirmed it was exactly how I liked it. Even so, it left a bitter taste in my mouth, a reminder of how much Nicho had been able to control even the small details of my life. The makeup artist arrived soon after, and I reluctantly let her begin her work. But my thoughts kept drifting, and before I knew it, tears slipped down my cheeks. Miss Aurea, the artist cried out with panic-laced aid in her voice, quickly reaching for a tissue. Please don't cry. We've just finished your foundation. ITLL ruined the look. Mom rushed in at the sound, worry etched across her face. Aurea, what's wrong? Are you having second thoughts about the ceremony? If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You'll talk to Taylor's family and explain everything. No one will force you to bond with him. Her words sent a pound through my chest. The truth was, this ceremony wasn't about love or choice. It was about duty to the pack, about protecting our standing and ensuring a strong alliance. Taylor was a good match on paper, but I had barely spoken to him, and the bond hadn't even begun to form. I'm fine, Mom, I said softly, forcing a smile. I'll miss you and Dad once in with Taylor. That's all. The lie seemed to ease her nerves, and she nodded, patting my hand gently. Don't worry, sweetie. You can come home whenever you need to. Taylor's family already agreed that you'll live here for the first moon cycle. You'll have plenty of time to adjust. Lyra stirred uneasily in the back of my mind. He's not your mate, she growled. You're lying to yourself. I ignored her. When the makeup was finally finished, a knock at the door signaled Taylor's arrival. I hadn't met him before, not officially, but the moment he stepped inside, my wolf fell silent, as if holding her breath. Taylor was tall, his presence commanding but not oppressive. His dark eyes held an intensity that made my pulse quicken, and the faint scent of cedar and frost clung to him, sharp yet soothing. He wasn't like the arrogant airs I had imagined. There was something steady about him, something reserved. Aurea, he said simply, his voice low and calm. I managed a nod, unsure of what to say. The silence stretched between us, but he didn't seem uncomfortable. He held out a hand, and after a moment's hesitation, I placed mine in his. On the way to the ceremony, we didn't exchange many words. I kept my gaze focused on the landscape outside the car window, the towering pines blurring into a sea of green. Taylor, for his part, seemed content to let me remain quiet. When we arrived, I reached for the door handle, but before I could open it, Taylor was already there. To my surprise, he bent down and scooped me into his arms, cradling me like I weighed nothing. What are you doing? I gasped, instinctively wrapping my arms around his neck. It's tradition, he said with a small smile, carrying the bride to the altar. I frowned. We're not at the altar yet. Close enough. I couldn't tell if he was teasing, but the faint glint in his eyes made me think he was. Despite myself, my heart fluttered. I hated how easily his presence unsettled me, how his confidence made me feel both irritated and intrigued. As we entered the gathering hall, the pack members turned to watch us, their gazes curious but respectful. I felt the weight of their expectations and I tightened my grip on Taylor's shirt.